Hello, it is I, lightmoondoll. I coming to you with a video about the movie that was created off of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I think it's called "Won't You Be My Neighbor." Anyways, I decided to do a review on that because I just got through watching it. Excuse the darkness of the film. I'm gonna put the phone down. Well, they should be able to hear my voice and what I have to say about this tragedy of a movie. um, Tragedy that it was made in the first place. If you don't know, you could find this movie on Tubi TV, and you can watch it for free and not have to pay for it. Thank God, because I feel bad for anybody that actually paid for this movie. This movie sucked. First and foremost, it sucked. It sucked because yes, Tom Hanks doesn't look like Mr. Rogers. Also, it sucked because Tom Hanks played Mr. Rogers in a very flat tone and just like a robot. And this movie sucked because the movie was more about someone else than it was about Mr. Rogers. So I thought it was going to be about Fred Rogers and his history, how he grew up as a kid, and so on and so forth. It wasn't. It was about a reporter that Mr. Rogers knew and about that reporter's family. And it's like, it was boring. It wasn't like boring, it was exactly boring. It was boring. And I felt like it was more of a mockery or a comedy skit of Mr. Rogers. That's what it felt like. One long comedy skit of Mr. Rogers that fell flat on its ass. I didn't like it. And when I found out that Tom Hanks was going to be playing Mr. Rogers, I was pissed because a lot of children grew up watching Mr. Rogers, me being one of them in the late 70s, early 80s era. He really fucked that up. He had to go and fuck up Mr. Rogers. They did this purposely, Hollywood did. They wanted to fuck up our memories of Mr. Rogers, our fond memories of Mr. Rogers and watching the show. This fucking movie trashed it all. Let me grab my drink. I'm starting to get a little heated here. I'm gonna have to drink something. Hope you guys are having a good day, a good evening. It's like past midnight here. Mm. Sipping on my wild raspberry tea. Okay, where was I? Yeah, this movie sucked. Back to that. And of course it would. Come on, it's Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers. What kind of fucking sense does that make? Yes, I said the F word. But guess what? It deserves it. It's fucked up. The movie, as I said, was boring. It was long. It was over an hour long, too, at that. And it wasn't all about Mr. Rogers. That's a big disappointment in itself. Okay, now I'm going to talk about Tom Hanks. Everybody loves Tom Hanks. I did at one point back in the time when he was playing, when he played the role of Forrest Gump. It touched my heart and my soul. A lot of people watched the movie when it came out. It did the same thing. As time went on, I started seeing little bits and pieces of things about him through media and all that that didn't sit right in my stomach. Then there was one day where I watched this skit. It was a Jimmy Kimmel skit where he let me get the light on my face on this one. It was a Jimmy Kimmel skit where he it was supposed to be making fun of those little girl pageants. You know how the little girls wear an excessive amount of makeup and dress like an adult female. So he was doing a skit where the little girl that was participating in the competition was supposed to be his little girl. That was just part of the skit. And this what he said in there is like, "Tell me you're a sexy baby," and the baby's like, "I'm a sexy baby," and it's supposed to be funny and comedy, but it's not funny. It becomes tragedy, perversity, and absurdity when you start to mess with those kind of subject matters. And for him to be so jovial and having a good time with it, and the little girl just looked like she's just doing what everybody tells her to do. I mean, it was supposed to be supposedly mocking little girl pageants, but what it did was showed the underbelly and the sickness of Hollywood. There's comedians that just won't touch certain things, and that's one of them. That's one of the main things. And he tried to find it, and Jimmy Kimmel is no saint. He allowed this to happen. It was all played out and planned for that specific show. And the little girl is the victim of all this, and she doesn't even realize it. So if you don't believe me, look up a skit online. Jimmy Kimmel. Just type in Jimmy Kimmel and girl pageant and Tom Hanks. It's disgusting. And there was this other celebrity actor who was trying to tell people and warn people about this fool. And his last name was Cappy. I can't remember his first name. You guys, if you're in the know, you'll know I'm talking about. He warned people about Tom Hanks and exposed him as being a pedophile. And then what's interesting, the same year that this movie about Mr. Rogers was created, the Cappy guy was capped. He's dead. They killed him. So there's no coincidence in that. They got rid of him because he started coming out and saying a lot of things that people found very shocking and hard to believe, specifically about the Hollywood industry and a lot of the Hollywood stars that are either pedophiles or killers, rapists, you name it. He was bringing out a lot of skeletons from people's closets. And I feel like when I look at it from just observing it from what I've read and from what I've seen, I just intuitively feel like this guy Cappy knew too much, so they capped him. Straight up, they got rid of him. They killed him. And then so they figure years from now, nobody's going to even think about him or even bring his name up because Tom Hanks trumps Cappy. You know what I mean? Might as well say Tom Hanks capped Cappy because it's Hollywood, baby. Pretty much. I mean, that's the worst choice you could ever have to play Mr. Rogers, someone who's actually a pedophile. And we can joke, we can say all we want about, oh, it was just a funny skit. There's nothing funny about that. There's nothing funny about that. And that kind of humor should not be even allowed anywhere. We talk about freedom of choice, freedom of speech, but that's just disgusting. That's something that should not be protected. Is the right for people, adults, to make fun of and find it entertaining to make jokes about, you know, making children look like adults, specifically little girls like an adult, and have them say nasty things that, like, you know, making them like a young version of Mae West or something. It's just sick. It is very sick and it's not funny. There's nothing funny about it. And the little girl's the victim because she's just doing what she's being told. So you're gonna pick this bitch to play Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is definitely rolling over his grave and trying to get out and come after Tom Hanks and haunt his ass forever because this is wrong. When I found, like I said, when I found out that might happen, and I'm like, there's no might to it, it's gonna happen, and it happened. And I watched that fucking thing. I told you, it's over an hour. It shouldn't have even been over 5 minutes. It was just fucked. I was so pissed off. It was almost, not almost, they were mocking him. They were mocking Mr. Rogers in this movie. And they're disrespecting him too, as well. Because this movie should have been just about Mr. Rogers. It shouldn't have been about Mr. Rogers' friend, the reporter, and his family, and his struggles with his dad, and all. What? What kind of whacked up shit is this? Right? It's Hollywood. That's what it is. Hollywood is always playing these fucking games with people's minds. And they will present Mr. Rogers in such a way through the eyes of Tom Hanks to where a younger generation is going to look at this dude and then look at Mr. Rogers and go, oh, it's the same thing. Without knowing really by watching old, you know, shows of the actual Mr. Rogers. This was some piss poor fucking Melba Toast viewing shit. I didn't like it. It was so fucking plain and bland. And it just felt like the same energy attached to Forrest Gump, but not. It had the same feeling as the Polar Express, but not. I was gonna say it felt like Bosom Buddies, but not. If anybody remembers Bosom Buddies, please put that in the comment section below. I'd be surprised how many people actually watched that stupid ass fucking show. I watched it because it was on TV when I was younger. Not because I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch it. But I watched it when I was younger. And it just didn't make any sense to me. But anyway, I mean, in the acting, not so much that they were dressed up as women in that TV show, Bosom Buddies. It was more so the acting was lacking. I mean, I've seen men dress up as women in comedy skits that had more life and personality and laughter to it. For instance, one TV show that I liked, it's Canadian. Boys in the Hall? Kids in the Hall. His name, Kids in the Hall. And they made me laugh. I mean, there's men dressed in women's as women, but in these funny characters, to where it wasn't feeling like they were making fun of women per se, but they're making fun of the character they're playing, as that happens to be a woman. But that Bosom Buddy show was just like stupid. Anyways, I'm sure anybody who's seen that can agree with me. If you like it, okay, it's your cup of tea. I'd rather have some of this wild raspberry tea. Mm. Yeah, Hollywood's gonna keep on doing this. And why are they gonna keep on doing this? They're gonna keep on doing this so that our memories of what the original character was like has vanished. Remember that they're gonna continue making movies about our beloved, you know, shows as kids, and the next time there's a movie about it, it's gonna be even more warped than it was before. That's how Hollywood does things. That's how Hollywood helps people to forget about the history of something. They didn't even talk anything about, like I said before, about Mr. Rogers, his background and his, you know what I mean. That's what I wanted. The history of Mr. Rogers, not this fucking twisted interpretation of what Mr. Rogers is or was. The music wasn't even the same for Mr. Rogers' theme song for that movie. Oh my god! But they're doing that. They're doing that in so many areas of entertainment, not just in movies. You know, they're doing it in TV shows, remaking another TV show, trying to make it the same as it was the last time, or making it completely different, so that we forget what it was like when it was first created. And that's the original piece, the original art piece. Like Mr. Rogers said, there can only be one you. He's right. There can only be one Mr. Rogers, and nobody should have even made a movie about Mr. Rogers if it wasn't primarily about Mr. Rogers. What kind of bullshit is that? I used to make this show on this channel called Monday Morning Rant. Maybe I should now call this Midnight, Sunday Midnight Rant, because Mr. Rogers, I am so sorry for what's happened here. Because those of us who remember Mr. Rogers, you know that he's nothing like what was portrayed in this disaster of a movie. Why? Why isn't Tom Hanks retired by now? Because he's in with all this shit. Um, whether you believe it or not, whether you believe in conspiracies or not, it could be a conspiracy, but not a theory. Because a lot of these skeletons are popping out of people's closets. They're not like opening the closet and here it comes. No, these skeletons are pushing their ways out of the closets and exposing these actors and actresses for what they really are. And what they really are, a lot of them, are demonic. Because only a demonic being could find this funny, could find that whole skit that Tom Hanks did on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Only demonic spirits can find that hilarious. It's just pure sickness. And they want to normalize it. And that's why they put it on an evening, like a Tonight Show or whatever, evening talk show. To normalize the abnormal. It's sick as fuck. See if I can find that guy's name. Cappy. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. I want to find his first name. Because he died. He died the same time, the same year that this movie was made. And he was the one that exposed that Tom Hanks is a pedophile. And is it any coincidence that he died the same time, the same year that this movie was made? I don't think so. So, anyways, it's fucked. It's straight up fucked up. Hold on, I think I got it in my memories on here. I can find his name because I was looking him up. I remember way back when on YouTube he had a channel and everything, and he was exposing a lot of these Hollywood stars as being pedophiles and being totally abusive, dangerous people. He was wanting to expose them because he couldn't hold it on in any longer. He just couldn't hold it in any longer. And he wanted to tell the truth about what was going on. And when he started telling the truth about what's going on, Of course, he didn't get a good reception from Hollywood stars, and they just made him out to be some wackadoo, guy who just wants to get attention because he's not getting any roles in Hollywood. That's basically what they're trying to make the Cappy guy look like. Um, but he's not. Was none of that. He was just trying to expose. And I think he didn't care whether he died or not. A lot of people in Hollywood that come forth and tell the truth about what's going on, they end up not surviving or being tortured severely without anybody knowing about it. So this is a review and then some for that movie based on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Another thing I wanted to add about this review before I finish up is this. That reporter guy came over to Mr. Rogers' home, I think it was, and Mr. Rogers had his puppets inside of a suitcase. This is in the movie. And he brings the puppets out, and he's just talking to the guy using the puppets like it's some sort of therapeutic session. And it was just fucking weird, and I didn't like it. Took it to a very dark place. Something that's supposed to be sweet and kind and gentle for children turned into something really dark and disorienting for me to watch. I did not like it at all, and it really, as I said over and over again, all throughout this video, this review, is that I found out about this movie going to possibly being made, and I was so pissed. I was so pissed. Not so much that it's going to be made, that I knew it was going to be made. Not that possibly. I was like, when I heard it, I was like, of course Hollywood's going to do that. Of course they're going to make a movie about a man who is much, much greater than they could ever be. And it wasn't even all about him either. And I wanted it to be all about him, but it wouldn't be all about him. Of course not. Because we've got the bashful, Tom Hanks, Mr. Polar Express, and stuff like that. He's too stiff to be Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers is not a robot like that, the way that Tom Hanks played Mr. Rogers in the movie. He was like fucking a robot in that movie. And looking at him made me feel ill. And I know that the reason why I felt ill looking at him in the movie is because I know this about him. When I saw him in that skit that I talked to you about on the Jimmy Kimmel show, you can look it up. It's on YouTube. And people, they're just taking things out of context. It's not inappropriate. There's nothing inappropriate going on. Yes, it is. It is when you dress a little girl up with a ton of fucking makeup on and a short fucking outfit on and having her prance around and blowing kisses and saying, what was it? What you saying? I'm a pretty little baby. I'm a pretty little baby. That's some sick shit. Okay. It's sick. How can you take anything out of context in regards to that? That's blatantly disgusting. It's blatantly perverse. There's no mistaking that. But because people still really love Tom Hanks and remember him as all these characters in all these awesome movies, they're not going to believe this person could be like that, could be disgusting and demonic inside. Because that's what he is. That's demonic inside. And it's demonic to try to get people out there who are watching the show to laugh at all this demonic shit, hypnotizing people. You got to be hypnotized in order to laugh at something that disgusting, that perverse, and that's sick. That's the bottom line on that shit. And can't nobody tell me any different. So that's what happens in Hollywood. You get capped like Cappy if you talk too much. I'm not saying that Cappy knew everything and was talking everything he was saying was true, because I'm not Cappy and I didn't experience Cappy's life. Experience things through his eyes and see what he saw. But I intuitively feel like this guy got killed because he was exposing a lot of Hollywood shit that nobody would ever want to come to terms with believing could ever possibly happen. How could this person do this? He's so and so and so that was in this movie. He's loved by everybody all over the world. He loves to help out at charities and he could never do that. Never say never. Okay. Never say never. The fact that they're Hollywood stars and that they are making possibly a higher income than we are. I don't know. I can't claim to say that. Some of you watching may be making as higher income than some of the some of the Hollywood stars. So I'm not gonna assume, but you get what I'm saying. It's like Tom Snakes. I ain't gonna go hang someone call them snakes because disgusting. I mean, if you look back on his career, what are the movies he made? You look back, the beginning was the Bosom Buddies. Bosom Buddies. The Bosom Buddies, where him and his friend dressed up as teen females, or actually early 20s probably because college, trying to get into all female college. I think it's because they couldn't get into regular college, which is very strange in itself. And that TV show was stupid. So, anyways, cut to what's the next thing he was in that I can remember? Then he was in that movie called Big, where he was in the body. It was about the kid wished that he was an adult or big, and so he ended up his body got bigger, but he was inside the body. He was still a child inside of an adult body. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie Big. I didn't really like it, thought it was stupid. But a lot of people loved it. I mean, when it comes to movies, I have I don't know, I have very specific interests, and it's got to be a certain way. I have high expectations for movies, let's put it that way. And I just didn't like the movie. So, cut to the next movie he was in. Good. The movie Big, and then there was the other one that was next. Come on, guys, help me out. He was in so many movies, so we just pick whatever comes in my head. Okay, next movie. Forrest Gump. You know what's funny is my son's never seen the movie, but he was calling it Forrest Junk. I just thought that was hilarious, Forrest Junk. Anyway, that's what it was pretty much. Hey, check. When I watched the movie for the first time, I liked it. I cried and all that stuff. Then I watched it again, and I was like, huh. I see what they're doing, how they, with the mind control, how they got you to feel so emotional, and how they were doing, Hollywood's doing with the scenes. They'll have a really calm scene and stuff, and then all of a sudden, boom, a tear jerking scene, the music and all that. So I started catching on from then on under what Hollywood was doing in order to capture you, very much capture your soul. They can capture your soul for that hour or less that it takes within the movie to feel like, oh, you see what I'm trying to do for you guys. I'm trying to present this is how we want you to relate to life outside of the movie. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this movie. I can keep going on and on about this atrocity, but I won't. And do your own research about it. You don't have to trust me in my opinions. For me, it's more than just opinions. It's through research that I've come to these facts that I'm putting forth, and I feel like these are facts. And it's from intuition, it's from spirit world giving me this info too about this entity known as Tom Hanks. It's not what you think it is. Have you ever watched Doctor Who, where they have, I think in any season of Doctor Who, they had they'll have the alien inside of the human body. And I think a lot of that is going on nowadays more so than you would imagine. I think it's been going on actually for ages, but now we're starting to see it more, when we really become more observant and more detailed in what we're looking at and what we're feeling, even more so what we're feeling. Because the veil between the living and the dead is almost non-existent for us empaths and for us star seeds and for us chosen ones and for us earth angels. It's true. The veil is pretty much non-existent for us, and so we see and we feel a lot deeper than those who are primarily absorbed in the 3D dimension here. So be aware when you watch anything. Be aware. Your instincts are always right. Your art of discernment is on point, and you know what's what. So when you sit back to watch a Hollywood movie, be more detailed in your observations of the movie, not just what's going on in the plot and all that, and the stars that are in there. Look at the background. Like, what's in the background? You got Keanu Reeves, talking and doing a speech in a movie, and then why is there a Chinese dragon in the background painting? I'm not saying that's an actual movie, but you know what I'm getting at. Be detailed and looking at things because this is what they're trying to present to you and give you these visuals and these symbols and this mind control. Even in that movie I was watching with Tom Spanks, Tom Shanks, Tom, no thanks. It was him in it. I was seeing things that was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. Like I'm saying, I don't watch things merely for entertainment's sake. I stopped doing that a long time ago, a very long time ago. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review on the movie. Would you be my neighbor or whatever the heck it's called? I'll put it correctly what the title of the movie is in the title of this video. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Feel free to let me know if you've seen this movie, if that's what you want to call it. I do have high expectations for movies. This one I didn't have a high expectation for because, as I said before, many a times in this video, I didn't think it was going to be worth shit anyway, so. 700 thumbs down and 700 lips. What are these? What would you call these? Raspberries? 500 million raspberries. So yeah, thanks for joining me. If you want to watch that movie, you can catch it on Tubi TV. That's what I get out here where I'm located. It's probably on other wavelengths, if I can say. It's probably on other, I don't know, means of watching TV shows and videos and movies and whatnot. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this. It went a little lot further, a little lot. My throat is itchy. Hold up. I have some more tea. Try to work. Someone's trying to work on my throat chakra. Can't get in there. Tea. All right. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me this evening, or whatever time you're joining me. Thank you. It means the world to me that everybody who joins me for my videos comes by, and feels welcome and feels free to put anything in the comment section that goes along with the video. Meaning, like, not like, read comments. Anyways, I don't need to get into what kind of comments. Because all rude comments are erased immediately. I don't need you guys to be consumed by that. All right. I mean, so thanks for joining me. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can go to the description section. I have a PayPal. I do have a PayPal, but I'd rather you go to my Cash App. My Cash App is under the name lightmoondoll. In exchange for your donation, I can create a one-of-a-kind piece of artwork for you. I don't think I ever need to show you like right now. Oh yeah, I do. Here, it's the necklace I made. It was a lot longer before, and then I made it shorter because it just fits better that way. But this is it. It's a necklace I made. It's, as you can see, it's a fabric beaded necklace here. It's a goddess necklace, fabric beaded goddess necklace. It's really psychedelic because the goddess on there is striped. I've been making a lot of fabric beaded necklaces like this. So let me know in the comment section below if you'd be interested in seeing a tutorial. A tutorial of how I make these necklaces. I'll be willing to do it, and I'd be even willing to do it on a live stream. So yeah, live stream. Okay, so let's put this back here. My arm's hurting. Oh, yeah, this is pretty lightweight though, because it's all like fabric beads. So, yeah, I've been loving making fabric beads. It's so much fun. Oh my god. Because I get all these different types of clothing donated to me, and some of it looks good, some of it on me, and some of it doesn't. So I'll keep it because I like the patterns or the designs on them. I was trying to think of as an example. I don't have anything right in front of me, but there's like this this pair of camouflage pants that a really kind soul gave to me, and I tried them on. And they're too big for me, so I was like, oh, I know what I can do with those camouflage pants. You know what I mean? Kind of do a recycle. So I can start doing some tutorials on things like that in the upcoming season here, coming into spring. And I want to do some tutorials for you guys. And if you want, you can actually follow along, a lot of those tutorials I want to do it live. So look forward to that. It'll be fun, you know. And hey, here's the thing: is if I'm doing a live tutorial on how to make fabric beaded necklaces, but in your home while you're watching me, you're painting. That's just really cool because I always wanted that kind of environment where artists can come into one building and do whatever art that they want, but they can still communicate with each other, regardless of what medium of art they chose to create with. They can all get together and be creative. So that's a dream of mine that I know is going to come true, and that's what I like to create here online. You know, a community of creative beings coming together and making the world a much more beautiful place with the energy of our creations. The energy not just about, oh, you painted a Mona Lisa, that's beautiful. No, I mean not that Mona Lisa isn't beautiful because that is a beautiful painting in my I feel like it is when I look at her. I was like, oh yeah, it is beautiful. Very well done. But you know what I mean? I'm saying with whatever you do that's creative, you're leaving a lasting impression on this planet. Your energy is in that creation and it's leaving that lasting impression on this planet before you skidoo on out to possibly another lifetime. So it's nice to get into this creative spot with all your creative souls and be a part of something that's really big for this incarnation. What's really big is a collective of artists bringing forth their passion, their desire, and their dreams and making them all come true. So, with that said, brightest blessings to all of you. And let me know if you've seen this movie and what you think about it. That's about all I have to say about it. I said my piece on it. I'm going to peace out on it. So, brightest blessings to all of you, and I will see you soon.